Hello, everyone. This is Claudiu Murgan, the host of the Spiritually Inspired podcast. And my guest today is Aluna Lua. Lua is a Brazilian plant medicine priestess and trusted advocate of the Brazilian indigenous people. She is dedicated light worker, fully devoted to serving the community as an entheogen educator, lifestyle artist, and master of ceremony. Lua has spent time with multiple indigenous tribes across the Americas and has been a student of different plant medicine cultures for the last 12 years. She embodies her messages and teachings in and through a professional expression of multidimensional art, sharing her angelic voice. Lua, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello, hello, hello.
I don't think I had another Brazilian guest up to this moment, and for sure you are the youngest one so far. So it's quite an honor to have someone from your generation.
That's awesome. What an honor.
As you can see, I'm an older generation, and I have children. And I look at their generations and maybe your generation. Sometimes they seem lost, without purpose, caught in the web of technology and government indoctrination. Do you see through the same lenses as I do?
I do in some parts. I also see another reality happening that the older generation might not be interested or, might just not get it, that it's actually going on, that the whole system is changing so much, the money system, the educational system, the health system, everything is changing. And I also see this youth really, really wise, understanding things about life that took me years to understand, or that I had to go through many struggles to understand. And then my parents and my grandparents, even more. I can see the generational healing happening where some young people are actually really wise and doing big change in the world already. So I would say I see both worlds happening.
And do you think that them seeing the path in a different way um, might help, or can they use, let's say, a certain plant medicine to see the path in a different way rather than taking the regular drugs, which creates addiction?
Right. This is one of the big things that we can see in different generations. Let's say in my parents' generation, for them, it was cool to smoke cigarettes. It was part of being a teenager and going out of your house, getting out of your house and being independent, and cigarettes was cool, right? In my generation, I was raised that cigarettes are not cool, that cigarettes are actually a poison, and that I should be far away from tobacco. Through my life working through plant medicines and discovering that path without having any connection with it in my family, now I see that people are understanding that actually tobacco is a sacred plant, that you can build a healthy relationship with it, that is different than what you used to see, that is all your choice. So I didn't have this knowledge before. I had to discover that, or through the struggle, my parents had to discover that through this. I mean, never discover that, right? If I even tell this to my parents, they don't know what I'm talking about, right? But I do see now plant medicines playing a big role in spiritual awakening, because a lot of things that I needed to do in my life that I used to see it as drugs or poison, now are seeing as medicine. Of course, not everywhere. This is just a little tip of the iceberg, but it's happening where people are seeing plant medicines and altered states of consciousness as a healing practice, as a ceremonial practice, that instead of a drug or poison.
Yes, and anyway, the tobacco used in these ceremonies are totally different than the one people are smoking on a daily basis or buying from a convenience store. And you said that's again, it's part of a sacred ceremony. You have to understand its sacred roots and the spirit of the tobacco, pretty much, in order to get the benefits of it.
Exactly. It's all about indigenous culture revival. It's all about understanding that the real gardens of the earth have been alive for a very long time, and the world has been ignoring it. And now there is this light warriors, right? This rainbow family of people understanding that the way that they see life and the lessons that they have can actually heal us in many issues that they don't experience living in nature. So the medicines are part of it. So now we're in this process of truly receiving wisdom from them, supporting them to be alive, and supporting the ways that they see how we can change the world, how we can improve the world. So that makes me positive. I see it as a positive thing, even though sometimes we don't, because of the world that I'm part of and the things that I see often in front of me. I see as a positive thing. I see indigenous culture revival happening. The psychedelic renaissance has hope to transcend and to bring this plant medicines and psychedelics to the mainstream in a good way. We just need to all do our part, right? It's not an easy process, but we need to all do our part. And there's a lot of people in the world doing it.
Yes, and you mentioned keywords, higher level of consciousness, and I'm a big believer that if we don't increase our level of consciousness, we're gonna keep making the same mistakes, the same blunders, and nothing will change. We want better ourselves as a human species. So I think one of your goals through your work is to increase this level of consciousness and expose the younger generation maybe to the potential of reaching this new level of consciousness.
Yes, yes. I like to say that we are the medicine, right? My community, we have this mantra, we are the medicine, because every single person that goes through any healing experience, whether it's with substances, with medicines, or on their own, they have a lot of lessons to bring to us all. And the way that they live their daily lives is what really matter. So you understand that there's so many ways of healing. There's so many modalities, and they're all really helpful for each particular individual. They will find what works for them in their self-development, what feels good, and what's really affecting them. But by the end of the day is your integration work of however you lead your life after a healing journey that really matters, that really impacts people, that really changes your daily life, your daily habits. So we like to say that the ceremony starts after the ceremony, after you get together and prayed and found all of your wounds, and then you go back home and you go back to work with your relationships, with your habits, your addictions, your darkness, that you're the only one to work through it. Nobody else can work for you, right? We can have support, but by the end of the day, it's your own self desire to grow as a human, to blow your mind away with the magic of the universe. And that requires a belief. You have to believe that the world is magical in order to receive the magic, right? If you don't believe it, you can't see it. So I just see that the world is waiting for validation to believe, when now, you know, after the pandemic and everything, it's really a choice. You have to pick. Do you want to live this world working on yourself and growing and meeting yourself every single day? Or do you want to get taken by the system and continue to be taken for the rest of your life? And I think the world is this way right now. Everybody's making a choice, whether it's later or after. Everybody needs to get to this place of, okay, what do I want to do? Like, how do I choose to navigate this lifetime?
Yes, I agree that this is a major point in humanity's development. As you said, there are two options pretty much. I don't think there is a middle ground where you can walk in both worlds. That would be very, let's say, dangerous for you. You won't give you any clarity of mind, and you're gonna stay pretty much at the same level of understanding, maybe with some little spikes here and there to see what's the behind the curtain. But otherwise, you're gonna just keep again making the same mistakes, believing in what the government will tell you, and in the end, you might not have an happy ending. But when exactly did you find the magic of plant medicine, and how exactly affected you from that moment on?
Hmm. I found plant medicine when I was 19. I was in Brazil, and at that time, I was doing a lot of drugs. I just wanted to get out of my life. I thought the world was lost and boring, and I found drugs and psytrance festivals and started to feel liberated, going through new experiences. These new experiences took me to a very intense LSD trip in which I completely lost my sense of self and found God pretty much. And at that time, I didn't know what that means. And that was very scary. And I was saved by this indigenous native person that was in this festival and supported me through the process of going through that experience, taking care of me truly. And in that night, he just explained it to me, this whole nother world of connection with the earth and community and support and unconditional love and spirituality that I've never really give attention to it. And because he supported me so much, his love for guardian my experience and making sure I was safe and held touched my heart so much that I trusted him 100%. And he just became my guide and guided me to places, to communities, to experiences, and that's how everything started, and it never ended. It's a forever path.
That's beautiful, amazing experience. And
Hmm.
you spend time in the Brazilian with the Brazilian tribes, and Brazil is a country where indigenous life is thriving. How did you work with them, and was it hard to be accepted by them?
So in Brazil is in South America, things are very different. Each country is very different. Each tribe is very different, right? In my case, I started going to Santo Daime churches, which were places in Brazil that people gather to create. They make their own ayahuasca brew, and they see it as a religion practice, and it's amazing. And that you go and you ask to go, and they will interview you. So that's kind of how it started. I was interviewed. I say what I was looking for. They received me, and I stayed. So I committed to that practice, to that tradition, because it really made me feel safe. It was really beautiful. And then after doing this work for a while, I started to feel the desire to meet the indigenous people because you talk about them so much in your spiritual experiences. So for me, it was all word of mouth. I went to a gathering where they were putting many tribes together to share their traditions, to share their culture. I went to this gathering with friends and then made connections with particular natives, personal connections. It's true. It's really all a personal connection thing. And they just started guided us as we were supporting them to arrive in Sao Paulo when they needed. I used to live in Sao Paulo back then. So a lot of natives needed support when they needed to go to Sao Paulo for a particular protest that they were doing or some crazy mission that they were in. And me and my friends started to support them and be like a house hub for them in Sao Paulo. So that personal relationship just started to happen. Hey, let's go spend some time with us here. Hey, we're open to receive people right now. Let's go here. And it was really just a self-healing practice, just a place to receive, to be taken care of, to get to know myself, to share space with these medicines, and to just nourish myself from the culture. It's so rich, it's impossible to explain. It's just so divine. So going that again and again, it's just so magical. And I was so committed to my healing, so committed to receiving these medicines for my life that once I moved to America, I started to become a bridge for these people because now they needed to do connections internationally. They are doing many, many things to protect themselves, and they really need help. And we need help because we need to make sure that they're okay. They're guarding the earth, right? So when this relationship It just happened. There was no way back once I moved here, and then I started work on, okay, how we can make this the best way, how we can raise money to support them, how we can share their culture, how we can build their land with what they need. And then that started to just bring them into summits, bring them to make connections, go funding, information, all kinds of things. So we're deep in the mission.
That's wonderful. And is Bolsonaro easing up to the indigenous people requirements and needs, and is he more understanding these days?
No, not in my opinion. I feel that now it's more than ever. The help that's needed, it's bigger than ever. There was a lot that happened in the Amazon and in the lives of indigenous people that the media did not tell anybody. There's a lot that I don't know either because I'm not in Brazil. I just know that the amount of problems and issues that they're having with their water, with their food, with their land is just so much stronger in the last few years that I think that the best way to inform yourself on that, I don't even like to watch things from Brazilian television because I know they're so, so manipulated there. It's just through community, right? Plant medicine communities and people that and give us information, and indigenous people tell us exactly what's going on. And then we get, okay, can you send us pictures? So now we can show this to the world. Now the world knows. And even when the world wants to know, it takes some kind of person. It's not every person that is really interested in see what's going on. I feel it's really those that are committed to honor these medicines so much, that love these medicines so deeply, that once you're part of the thing, once you're, supporting the whole flow with the people that are truly guarding and praying for us every day, the path with the plants change a lot, and changes for better because you create more purpose. There's a bigger meaning why you are connected to psychedelics, why you ended up with plant medicine, why God is calling you to show up to be a healer, of why you have a call to facilitate. All that needs to be very well refined with the reality of the communities, and not just what they're going through in their issues. I would say, of course, that's what they need the most, is true support, but it's also to just listen to them. They know what's going on, and they know a lot of solutions that we can all take in our daily life to change the world. So it's really about, receiving and support, giving and receiving. I think that's it.
Yes, and the West and everyone else, in fact, has to understand that helping the Brazilian indigenous tribes and is not just helping the environment, it's helping a ecosystem of knowledge, because they have so much knowledge, as you said, and they know nature, they know how to heal with nature. And this is knowledge and wisdom which was passed over generations. And if we destroy nature, then we will destroy them as individuals, because they will have no purpose. There is nothing to protect, and that knowledge sooner rather than later will disappear, and that will be a disaster in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I would say that, if you at home have had any experience with a plant or, shamanism or whatever, and you did not get to experience the prayer behind it, you're missing out the best part. That's the truth. And I would say that I have taken many things in my life, and now everything is so intentional. It's so connected to the wisdom, the meaning, the stories, whatever it is that I can remember is my self-practice, my mentors, is the community prayer, the collective prayer. Like everything now, I want it this way because I know how it feels when he has that sense of divinity and purpose. And he has that knowledge and wisdom that the people that you're with, they are, we have agreements of the space, the values of the space, the boundaries of the space. That changes everything. So I think that's the most important part, is how can we all, in each individual, let's say wherever I've been in my life, I had, people teaching me all kinds of things, right? And then there's my mind and my self experience filtering all that I know in my own way. And same thing with you, and same thing with everybody else. So we play a big role in how do we filter information, even from books, even from, programs. How do you filter the information in your own way so this information is true to you? And at the same time, there is a foundation where many people know the truth, where you can consult. I think the wisdom that they share is you have to consult with your community in some ways, because they share certain things that we don't really truly understand right away. And it might take your lifetime to understand, or you will understand in a completely different way because you live a completely different life. So it also requires consulting, integration, checking in, coming back to that trauma again and again and again. It's like there's no end. And the way that you work on that is how you support people. I truly believe that everybody has their own medicine here. And your medicine is potent when you integrate your shit.
Yes.
Yeah. So you integrate your life as it happens with the support of the plants, the support of the wisdom, the support of the effort, and everything else that you can add into your spiritual development journey, right? That is your medicine. That is your unique medicine. That's how I see it.
Yes. Several years ago, I watched a movie, Emerald Forest, about the Brazilian indigenous tribes, and it was beautiful to see how in fact, wasn't necessarily beautiful. It was the Amazon was destroyed in order for a dam to be constructed, and one of the boys of the engineers working at the dam got lost in the forest, and he was taken by one of these tribes. And over the span of 6 or 7 years, his mindset was changed to the mindset of the tribe. And he was able to feel nature. He was able to see things which a normal Westerner won't see it. And his parents never lost hope that they will someday see him again. And it happened that he went back to the city as a savage, found them, and tried to explain to them that please help us save the Amazon. And again, he was pretty much in between worlds, but in the end, he chose the indigenous world. He was so home there with his friends and the elders. And again, in the end, it was a beautiful, beautiful story.
Mm, mm. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Lua,
I do.
Please go
Sorry,
ahead.
you can go. You can go.
Over the years, have you created a deeper contact with a specific plant, or ayahuasca is the main one you are resonating with?
No, I have a big connection with tobacco. Tobacco has healed me. I've never smoked cigarettes in my life, but tobacco hape, the grounded tobacco powder that the indigenous people apply in their nostrils, that medicine changed my life. It took me out of cocaine addiction. It showed me a different way to breathe. So my connection with this medicine is really strong. Another connection that I have that's really strong is Kambo medicine, which is the frog from the Amazon that works as a vaccine for the human body. And that particular medicine also changed my life in a very particular way because it taught me how to eat. It taught me how to take care of my body. I was not taking care of my body my whole life, and I just didn't eat well and did drugs that were not good for my body. And I couldn't really do that click of switching my mindset, and that medicine switched that and very rapidly. And my diet completely changed. And as my diet changed, my mindset changed, my entire life changed. So these days, my diet is mostly raw vegan fusion, super clean, no gluten. And I was just like, the fuck? I never imagined that that's how I would eat in my life. Like my mom doesn't even believe it. I would say these are two medicines that I'm very deep in contact with, and have my own practice with. And also for me, all the other ones, they come into waves in my life because it's been so long. It's been already 14 years that I've been working with medicine, and 18 years even with substances in general. So I would say that if I look back, I've had many waves of what medicine was closer to me, which one was not. And the way I see it now is that they're all related. They are all part of the same purpose. They are all God sending us these earth angels to support us to heal. And some people will feel connection to one or to the other more. In some phases of your life, you might, receive support from one more than the other one. But when I see everything at once, they're all part of a web and they connect with each other in a very particular way. I don't see more as I like this one and I don't like this one. I see more as, okay, this is where I'm at in my life right now, and these are the medicines that are leading my path, that are my plant teachers, my allies, my spirit allies in my ascension path, and that can change, and I'm open for that. That's kind of how I see it.
And any spirit animal you are, let's say, attached to, or comes to you more often?
So when you start working with warrior medicines, I would say, or even any shamanic medicine from the Amazon and from indigenous tribes, you will get in contact with a snake. In Brazil, there's many songs from many different tribes that they talk about the jiboia, which is a particular kind of snake in the Amazon. So the snake and the frog are medicine, represent these medicines, these spirits that I connect with them because of this path. It was a surprise. I didn't think I was connected to these animals until I am. So I feel that a lot of people start seeing the frogs and the snakes or birds. I have good connection with birds, the feathers, the cleansing of the feathers. I have connection with cats. I'm a cat spirit. And dragons, all kinds of animals, they come and go in my field. But I would say that the snake and the frog are the lead of this experience right now.
And how real are dragons to you?
How what?
How real are dragons to you?
How real?
Yes.
How real?
Yes.
They're as real as my physical body.
Interesting.
For me, I see visions that I've had in ceremonies and also in dreams. I'm a dream worker. I love dreams. So I've been studying my dreams for a very long time, and out-of-body experiences, lucid dreaming, as well as any psychoactive experience that I've had. You can see that there are some places that you go that no one can take away from you, that they're real. Doesn't matter. I don't need to share with anybody. If you know, you know. You've been there, and you made and it brought me a feeling that it's as real, if not even more real, than my Lua's body here that I wake up every day.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the visionary world, the imagination world, with the same, respect that I see the physical life. And it's just like in the physical life, there are illusions. In the dream state, there's also illusions, right? You learn what is the perception of the self, what is the perception of the oneness. This is something you just experience. It's not every dream that I wake up like, oh my God, I just went to this place. Like, no, there are particular dreams that I have this feeling, because now I know what is, the mix of my subconscious and the state that I'm at, and the places that you truly go. There's ways to figure this out, basically.
Yeah. Lua, I would like to talk about your artwork and your creative process, how they evolved over years.
my creative process.
Yes.
So for me, what happened is that when I got into my healing journey, that's all I wanted to do, because that's all I wanted to do. So I was going through all these experiences and initiations, doing all kinds of healing in myself, and at the same time working like crazy, nonstop, multiple jobs at the same time. I used to be a graphic designer in Brazil. I was a game designer, so I was very in the computer corporate world. And it was really cool because I thought it was a creative job, which I've always seen myself as an artist. I grew up dancing. So for me, it was a digital art. But by the end of the day, I was just creating for other people. And that was very exhausting. It didn't feel my soul. So I was seeing these two worlds of my life. One world being a servant of the light, not caring about the system, just wanting to be in community and unconditional love. And this other side of me, wanting to make money, wanting to work, wanting to have a comfortable life for myself, but feeling extremely frustrated and exhausted with how that looks like. So I was living in these two worlds until I realized that if I bring my art, the pleasure, the abundance of creation that my nature has as a human being and creative, that will transform into a career, that will transform into pathways that I wasn't expecting. Is that, I think, is when I realized this understanding that if you want to manifest something, you need to do it right now. Right? And if you want a big home because you want space, you need to create space for the home that you live in this moment. I think when I realized that abundance is just a mindset, everything has changed, because, and then I started dedicate time to my dance, to my singing, to my designs for my own business, or for clients that I love and that I have so much love in creating with them. I started to put the passion as part of my work with the support of mentors and coaches. It was a whole life shift of like, hey, you can do this and you will be happy. You just have to trust. So I just trusted. And now I see that, yes, life is as magical. It's possible for everybody. And it might be difficult and you might have a phase and ways and downs and all the things, but your true desire really matters. And when you devote that, when you devote the service with the same love that I devote my service with for the medicines, if I do it with the same love and power and giving and giving and giving and giving, you receive. You receive differently, right? What I receive from the medicine path, it's different kinds of lessons that I receive from the work that I put in my daily life. But I can see the same flow. You give and receive, you give and receive. And that's related to creativity, related to money, relating to happiness, relating to joy, and all of it.
Yes, I mean, it's very inspirational and uplifting, and I would really want more of the younger generation to listen to you, because I'm pretty sure they will find themselves into you, and they might apply some of your steps. They might be able even to reach out and get some guidance, because this is, again, new generation need a lot of guidance through these tougher times.
Yes. And if I could share a tip for parents, I'm not a parent, so I can't say much, but I was a daughter and I wanted a life that my parents had no idea that this was good for me. Now, my parents are proud of me, even though they don't know much. They just don't understand the depths of what I do in my life, but they support me because they see me happy. So sometimes I see parents with teenagers that they're just against and just to think that they're doing what's not good for them. But it's important to understand that their purpose and their destiny needs to happen, whether you agree or not. And they might have to go far away to discover that, or they can be loved and supported by their parents as well. So just kind of trusting more the new path with discernment, of course, but trusting the magic that the new generation can explore, including financially. There's ways that people can create their businesses and do services in the world that are new. And it's a matter of trust, because they're the ones that need to figure this out, you know? So let them figure it out and trust that they can figure it out. And if they are in their passion, in their pleasure, in their motivation to be alive and to be important in this world, it will be for the good. And it will be for the bad if they don't feel happy in whatever they're studying, in whatever they are, right? The happiness is everything, and the happiness is different for each person and especially each generation.
Yeah, so true. I mean, this is what I tell my boys. We want you to be happy. Doesn't matter if you go to a specific school or not. It might not give you any pleasure, and that diploma at the end of 4 years might not provide you with any financial sustainability, because by that time there will be no new, not necessarily jobs, but new industries, new fields, and you are not prepared for these new fields. So you better learn on your own in the field you really like now, and be ready in 3 to 4 years.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah. I would like to get more into your programs, the Kambo Body Bliss Initiation, the Entheogenic Mystery School and for artists and healers, please.
Yes. Okay. So the Ascension Academy is my beautiful mystery school. And we've been in this place for 2.5 years now. So we're starting the 4th round of the 6 months program. And this has been such a joy, because it was the place where I gather healers, artists, visionaries, leaders, people that have this mindset of all these things that we're talking about and want to live in this world through service, through art, creativity, and build a new system for ourselves, right? Play this role of what they're here to do. So we study the medicines, and we go deep in these medicines. Every single medicine has so much to share. So we take the time and the space to truly understand tobacco medicine, to become tobacco keepers, to be part of this movement. And we also work with cannabis as our divine mother teacher. So these are the 2 medicines that we're deep in the study to support us in this path. And at the same time, it's a community where we are supporting all of us to connect with plant medicine communities all over the world, to be connected to the right people, to go to initiations on the tribes in South America, to also come to ceremonies with the elders when they come, to be part of this web and do this in the best way. So the Kambo Body Bliss Retreat is one of the in-person initiations that we do in the Ascension Academy, that we invite other people to join that are ready for this experience, in which is a 10-day initiation. It's a 3-day retreat in person plus 7 days an online course. And it's the 10-day warrior medicine initiation. So it will be a place to work with the medicine of Kambo, to receive the full treatment of 3 days in a row. We will work with Hape, we work with Sananga, and we work with cannabis as our integrational plant. So this experience is to truly detox the body, go deep in that preparation of the physical vessel, the releasing of what no longer serves you. So be very intentional to what you're letting go, so that we continue the program, continue this experience from a refreshed start, from a new person, from the present moment, and no more past being affecting our reality. So that's the purpose. The retreat is coming up is actually this next weekend, June 24th, 25th, and 26th. The 3 days in person are in Los Angeles, California. And then we continue the cleanse for 7 more days online. There are people from other places that are doing just the online program with us that are not coming for in person. So that's an option too for those that live far away. And then the Ascension Academy already started. So it's happening. And this is our first in-person breakthrough. So if anybody's interested in any of this, I'm happy to share more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any other future plans for your own spiritual development? How do you see yourself in the next 3 to 4 years?
Ooh, I love that. I feel I'm constantly evolving. My spiritual journey is every single day. And I'm a new person every single day for sure, whether I'm working with medicines or not. If I see my life 3, 4, 5 years from now, I see my community in a church, an entheogenic church, in which we can have the physical place, the physical churches, temples, that we can gather, that we can heal, that we can pray, that we can receive our elders, that we can have our schools and all this beautiful work, support the children that are coming and wanting to learn mysteries of God. So have this hubs being placed in different places of the world. And that's already happening with my community. So there's places in the world that there's temples being cultivated so that this can be in the future a bigger place in which we can grow our own food. We can have clean water. We can be self-sustainable. We can raise our children. Basically, getting into a smaller place where we're locally supporting each other, at the same time connected internationally in ways that we can support the whole family online, in courses and connections, network. So I see myself playing many hats in this mission, which I already do. I already wear many hats, but I know there will be more hats coming my way to manifest this. So I'm not sure exactly what are the hats I'll be wearing in 5 years, but I definitely see myself participating of the ceremonies, leading the courses, leading the classes, supporting the community with the integration, which is part of my one of my biggest passions. Has been the integration and doing whatever it's needed, wherever God needs me to go, whatever is the hat that I need to wear. I'm here to share my music, my passion for music and chants, medicine music, and also dance. My dream is to have a angel choir of children in which we are practicing beautiful angelic songs and sharing that with the world, as well as dance choreographies. I see myself connected to the artistic expression of my community in all possible ways.
Beautiful. And all these hats are unbelievable, filled with responsibility. So I wish you luck with that. And if someone wants to start a community like the one you mentioned anywhere in the world, what's the first step they should do?
I would say the first is to reach out and start getting connected with the online community. We have Facebook groups that I have in different parts of the world. We can definitely support people to get connected to places and people. So I would say the online community is a good start. If you want to reach out to me, ask a question, I'm happy to support. And then is to just trust your heart and seek for the elders. If you want to do a ceremony you've never done before, if you want to sit with someone, is to just, of course, this is more word of mouth these days. It's growing more. But I would say whoever is the practitioner, the facilitator, is to check in. What are the communities, what are indigenous communities that they have studied with? What is the tradition that they're bringing and guarding for your space, so you can truly get the full experience? And then take a space in your life to, yes, go to the tribes and have that connection. Hopefully they will go to your house and to your city at some point, and or you're even the one that will bring them. But basically to look for the wisdom, the ancestral wisdom that not only the indigenous people have in the Amazon, in the South America, but also your own ancestors. Each person has a lot of wisdom to learn about themselves and their lineage through their ancestors. For some people, that's easier to figure it out because you might know someone and those are alive, your grandparents are alive. For other people might be more complicated, but still possible. If you call in that, I've seen miracles. People finding ancestors and family relatives that you would never think that they will find. And not only look for it yourself, but look for it within. And that's the true answer.
Yes. And in other words, this network you are envisioning and it's taking shape as we speak is pretty much a parallel, would be a parallel system and a substitute of what the governments offer these days. Am I correct?
For sure. I think this is the new way. It's more local based ways of seeing life and ways of supporting your community so we can be self-sustainable. The system doesn't want us to be self-sustainable. The system wants us to be fully dependent of our credit cards and the food in the grocery shops. That's what they want. So it's not an easy path. You need to really want that. And of course, it's a bigger vision. I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm talking about the future of the future generations.
Yes.
Yeah, and it starts with that. It starts with what kind of school do you want your children to go? And if this school doesn't exist, is you're the one to create that. And I bet that you will find many other parents that resonate and have more to add to that vision to build, to manifest all of it. Hospitals, schools, gardens, food, homes, sustainable homes. All that is already available. The technology already exists. We have technology enough to completely change the world in a really, really good way and live in harmony with the earth. And the earth would heal and will adapt. The indigenous people straight up know that is not everything lost. We sometimes think that even if we stop everything in this moment, it will still make it worse. Not true. The earth regenerates itself. The water heals itself. We just need to believe that first to get access to this technology because it's available and possible. We just need to want to find it and want to learn and then take the actions that each person is here to take in order to do all of it.
Yes, I agree. We have the technologies. They've been suppressed for a long, long time. And if they will be made available in a positive way, Mother Earth will regenerate, as you said. And in fact, we are making changes to our way of living so fast that Mother Earth cannot adapt that fast. It takes a little bit of time for her to adjust, to switch gears. But because of our rhythm, she's not capable of shifting gears in a quicker rhythm.
Right. And I believe that it changes from yourself first, right? Some indigenous from Colombia, the Koji people, they say that if you change your relationship with water, the water heals. So yes, there's many ways in terms of technology in how to clean the water and provide water for everybody, clean water for everybody. But it starts with you praying for every single drop, honoring every single drop you have available, even though you don't know where it comes from. That's how they see it. And I believe in that because as soon as I changed that, as soon as I introduced myself to the water and continue to introduce myself to the water, the way my body connects to the water is different. And I can see the technologies and solutions and ways way more around me than I used to before, only because I said, yes, I want to heal the water. I want to be part of it. And I don't want to pretend that there's nothing I can do about it. There is things I can do about. Maybe one connection you make changes completely the future of a company, right? Yeah. So it's to truly know, like, we all play a very big role. And if we were all taking these steps and listening to this wisdom, I see it changing.
Yes, indeed. Lua, we're approaching the end of the interview. Any final thoughts?
I want to thank you for these beautiful questions. Thank you for reflecting all these subjects with me. Thank you for watching and being part of this. I hope this inspired you in some way. I look forward to connect. If you have any questions and you like to check in and connect in some way, feel free to reach out. And then send you this talk and all this new gateways that were open for whoever is here to the world, so the world can receive more solutions and more hope. The world can receive the hope that we have cultivated here today, so we can all do our work.
Thank you very much. Please, everyone, listen to the wisdom of the young generation, because they can save us. If we make a blunder, they can save us. So please listen to Lua's wisdom. And thank you for watching. Share it, like it, get a free copy of my book when you visit my website. And until next time, love and gratitude.